Okay, looking at us where we are today, this is 2022. Do you think we can do anything to sort of get ourselves in the process of being healed?
I think the process of healing is, like I was saying before, is us coming together like a community and leaning on each other, and really having conversations about, okay, who are those? How are we coming behind those leaders that want to be in the political realm? How are we supporting each other in that respect? Who are our activists? How are we supporting and putting the financial resources behind each other? How are we making sure that if we wanted to even start our own community, own city, what type of infrastructure are we putting in place? Who's really going to be kind of helping from a resource perspective, right? Because there are incredible Black people that are well off, that are doing really well, and some of them may feel like, oh, it's not my job. It's not my job to give back. But I think a part of giving back too does help to create and reestablish the healing that we need and the community that we need for each other. And so really rebuilding the things that we need and looking at our and honing into ourselves is going to be critical. So even in me.
Do you know that telling a story is one of the most powerful ways to connect with your audience? Do you know that the human brain processes story much more easily and quickly than facts and figure? Stories are a great way to engage your audience, get them interested in your products and services, and inspire them to take action. A good story will help you create more compelling content that can be shared on social media or through other channels. And it's not just about telling a compelling story, it's also about knowing how to tell it effectively. Now, do you want to better connect with your audience? Then join us on our online training class, Storytelling for Content Creators and Digital Entrepreneurs. Come to obehi.com/storytelling and learn how to leverage your storytelling skill to earn more as a content creator and digital entrepreneur. Storytelling is a powerful way to connect with your audience, so let's explore it together. See you in the class.
Saying with my partner, okay, let's create Dipper. Let's create a technology platform that guides those that are systemically overlooked to better workplaces, one review at a time, because we know that not every single human is going to be a business owner. Some people are just going to be working in corporate spaces and startups for other people, organizations. But how do we make sure that those people are only at organizations that are going to value them? Because those organizations are doing the work. It starts with us really starting to think about how do we reshift this level of power for ourselves.
All right, ourselves.
Yeah.
And the people. Now I'm beginning to look at a group of people that you are speaking about now. My curiosity, actually, my question is, how do you gather the data? How do you manage to understand the feeling of the people? Is it that you help me understand that?
I can start off with Dipper. What we did, and I think any business should do, is we conducted assessments before we even started Dipper. We wanted to ensure that people were willing to share, especially those that identify as Black, those that identify as Hispanic, Latinx, Asian, Indigenous. We wanted to make sure that those people felt safe enough to share their reviews, right? Because oftentimes we know that there's already a lack of representation within organizations. What we found was that 87% of the people that were part of the assessment wanted to share their reviews because they wanted to not only be directed to the best places to work, but they wanted to guide other people. And that's what we talk, when I talk about community, that's what I'm talking about. People thinking about, okay, how does this help me? How does this benefit me, Netta? But how does it benefit my community around me? Because it's not just about me. How does it benefit down the line, even legacy for my 2-year-old now and my 3-year-old? From Telosa perspective, what they did was they conducted a poll. The poll was distributed through all social sites, through various demographics and communities to really make sure and poll, hey, do people want a new city that is going to be environmentally sustainable, is going to be diverse, is going to be inclusive? Do people want a city that's going to actually love them back? And what does that actually mean for these people? And so we did, right? And so they used a very prominent polling system, but they definitely did their due diligence in making sure that it was distributed to various communities and people had a chance to fill that out. And they're going to continue. They're not stopping, because this city isn't going to be built overnight. So it's going to definitely take a lot of time. But like I said, there's going to be consistent town halls. They're going to be consistently wanting to hear from people that are interested in being a part of a city that's going to be inclusive, and what that means for them. For some people, they're really focused on environmental sustainability. For some people, they're really focused on the diversity aspect. For some people, they're really focused on, I want to make sure that education is fair. I want to make sure that health, is fair. I want to make sure that we have top technology. So it's different for a variety of people, but all in all, people want to see the full scope of all of it. So polling is very, very important.
I have a curiosity. If you make all this investment, I want to believe that it's going to be very expensive with everything that you're going to put up to be able to put this city in place. At the end of the day, who is going to be able to come in? Is it on that maybe those who are well up in the society are those who are going to benefit from it, as against, okay, those who might need it but they don't have the money to be able to afford it? So in this sense, of course, we are still looking at the African American society, the people who have always been the victim of the system. I don't know if you can say anything about that.
Yeah, this is still in development, right? And it's a full team. So a full team of people that are working on it. But those are all the things that we're looking for, right? When we think about this city, it's really about co-creating. So this is not, oh, the leaders that are working on this project, we're just going to call all the shots. That's what we've seen done in the past, and that doesn't always work out the best way. So truly, when I say that we welcome those voices, we're going to continue to engage with those from various communities and populations of people to really understand what are the inequities that exist. How do we make sure we create a city that's going to be inclusive of anyone, no matter who you are, no matter what financial bracket you're in? How do we make this city work for you? And this is not, everyone sitting at the table calling the shots. This is truly about when we what we were talking before about actively listening and honing into those voices, and people that want to really see an inclusive space.
I want you to spend some time talking about the economy, business, because I think this is one of the things that is not taught enough within our community, because people are poor. Let me just put it like that. A lot of people do not have access to the economic power. For this, they are easily preyed upon in the neighborhood. And so one of the solutions, I think it'll be also the suggestion of many people, is to make sure that money flow into the community so that people can manage to take care of their needs. In this sense, they don't need much help from other persons if they can take care of their own. But of course, we're not talking of maybe Father Christmas type of money now, even though sometimes it does happen like that, distribute. That distribution, it really doesn't solve the problem. but the idea, the knowledge, how to create income for yourself, how to set up businesses for yourself so you can take care of your need. I don't know the role you think that can play in the overall conversation that we're having today, which is the exploitation of the people in very many areas, of course.
Yeah, I think the biggest exploitation that we face is the inequity within education, right? Again, I hate to say it, we look back at history, there were things that we weren't exposed to. And even as we started to come into our own, it was whitewashed, right? It was written in just one form. And that's one of the reasons why there are so many people that are battling critical race theory in schools. That's one of the reasons why they even created an act called the Woke Act for DEI leaders that are working with employees in Florida to not share about history and the inequities that exist, right? So education is pivotal. And I think that's something that I always try to hone in on. It's one of the reasons why I'm always posting on LinkedIn as well. It's one of the reasons why I'm always sharing information with my subscribers every Monday, because I believe in education. I believe the more that we know, the more we can then take action on. When we don't know, or when we turn the cheek, right, to things that we need to know, then we don't have that desire to really make the impact that we need to make. So yes, education is definitely really pivotal too. And even when we start to think about like the economics of it, or the financial status for people, you know, many people don't know even how to start a business. Many people don't know the certifications that they need, and how they can benefit off of the funds from the government, right? For those that are certified, minority business owners or women business enterprise owners. A lot of people don't know the access of funds that they can receive. And sometimes the system makes it so difficult to receive those funds as well. Those that are educated on how to go around that, those are educated on how to receive that, we see flourish. That information has to be free. Capitalism, I mean, we can talk about this all day. Capitalism is like a scary movie, right? Because many of us, it kind of has us in a box. Because even if we wanted to do the work for free, we can't, because we have to live. So oftentimes when we think about education, and even for activists, we're selling the information because we have to put food on the table to feed our families, to feed ourselves. So capitalism is even a very tough thing. But I think, again, those that hold power, those that have the financial resources, being able to assess that and say, okay, here's how I got it. Here's the privilege that is a part of that. And here's how I'm going to utilize what I have to drive greater impact. And it doesn't mean, oh, I'm just going to give money away. I'm just donating money. No. It's how do I begin to build the infrastructure? How do I begin to think about putting my resources towards educating people for free, but still being able to sustain? People that have funds to do that can do that, right? And that's a level, that's an action that they can actually take to create a level of wealth for others. Even if it's not, I'm going to give you this money. Well, show me.